Making art every day for 31 days? Can I really do that? Well, I'm challenging this idea by participating in Peachtober this year and making an art piece every single day for the month of October. I'm also adding a challenge every single day to my art process. Howdy hey, I'm Kit Kat and welcome to day 6 of Peachtober. Today's prompt is ring and it's time to get into card attack time! So what is card attack time? Well, let me tell you, this is the time in the video when we pick an extra challenge for today's art piece. Every day, I'm making an art piece for the month of October, and I'm adding my own challenges along the way. So let's pick today's challenge. Okay. Whoops. Today's challenge is favorite place, which means I have to somehow include one of my favorite places in the piece, which is going to be kind of hard because the original idea I had for this, I'm like, how am I going to fit that into my favorite place? I'm really gonna have to think about this for a minute.
12 seconds later.
Before we get into the video, here is the color palette I'm gonna be using for today's piece. And I want to show you the sketch that I have for today's piece. Because today's prompt is ring, I was going to do like a ring pop as a part of my piece, which I still think I'm going to do. And I actually have a pretty genius way of how I think I'm going to include this in the piece today because it kind of worked out perfectly, but also it seemed like it was going to be really hard at first, so I didn't really know what to expect. But I think I have an idea and I think we're going to go for it. So with that, let's get designing. Welcome back to another voiceover with Kit Kat. So before I even got into designing the piece for today, I actually sketched out my ideas because now that I was going to have to add my favorite place, I was like, I think I should sketch a little bit more before I get into making the design. So I came up with how I was going to do it, and then we got into the process. I also made myself some coffee, which definitely fueled the creativity. I actually made 2 pieces. I know, we're limited on time, and I was like, what if I made 2 pieces of art? I'm crazy, and it was still a lot of fun. I did have extra time in general to make 2 pieces, and with this process, I do want to take my time on some of the pieces and just really enjoy the creative process. I want to enjoy the creative process for all of them, but I felt especially excited about the ideas I had for the piece, so I took extra time to do it, quite literally the whole day. I decided to make the original piece I was going to make as an extension of the piece that I ended up making to complete both challenges. I still went with the ring pop packaging. I obviously changed the name because I don't want them to come after me, but I also did a whole other piece that was focused more on my favorite thing. So what I chose as my favorite thing, surprise, surprise, was the grocery store. LOL, as if we weren't already on theme. We were extra on theme today, but I specifically chose the candy aisle in the grocery store because it's one of my favorite areas. The candy aisle is so colorful. Candy packaging is so fun. I would really enjoy, I think, being a graphic designer for a candy company and making their packaging. That would be really fun. Maybe it wouldn't be, but I think it would be fun. I think I would enjoy using all the bright colors that they use for candy packaging. Anyways, so the concept was I'm in the candy aisle. I just got ring pops. I put one on my finger, which also is funny because I do have a ring now on my finger as I'm married, but I just thought it would be funny. And then the rest is history. I used lots of fun colors and I just took my time with the details. I think this is the most detailed piece I have done so far for this challenge, but it was absolutely worth it to put the extra time in. Also, the character is of course me with my pink hat on that I wear sometimes. And I went with colors that I feel like I don't always go with. Green is a color that I don't always tend to use, but I feel like I've been using it a little bit more in this challenge. And I just thought that ring would go really well with green. And then to really make the green pop, I also did pink. I love pink. I used to hate pink, but now I love it. And I also, of course, did yellow. Surprise, surprise. I feel like I don't need to say this again, but I do love the color yellow. And if it's in like every piece, don't be shocked because it's one of my favorite colors. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with this piece. I spent a lot of time on it to the point that I was so invested in it, I realized I needed to step away from it for a minute and just go do something else. So I did do that. So then the second half of creating was actually at nighttime.
3:28 a.m.
Which realistically, I do work better at night. And I always have, and I think I always will. I'm trying so hard to be a in the daytime creator, but it can be very hard because I think my brain / creative energy does work best at night. But also I need to sleep because art is not my full-time job. So there's that. Anyways, I worked on it at night, which was super fun. I also really got into just the creative zone where all I wanted to do was just sit and work on the piece, which is so fun. I don't always have the time to sit down and really invest in a piece. And with the outcome of this piece, it was so worth it to just take the time to just be in that creative zone and enjoy the process. I really, truly enjoyed the process today, and I had so much fun with this piece. And with that, I think it's time to show you the final piece. You made it to the end of the video, and it is time to show you how the piece turned out. So here it is. I think that how I went about it was pretty genius in regards to what I'm doing with this challenge, because every piece I'm making, if you're new here, is grocery themed. And so I just continued to include that in how I included my favorite place. And I really like how we took the challenge and we went with it. I think that adding the challenges makes it interesting. It also helps me to just get out of my comfort zone and to get out of my thinking of like it's gonna be this way and be open to it being a brand new way. And I really enjoy that as a part of this creative process this round for Peachtober. So that was day 6. And thank you so much for watching. If you want to take time to really look at the piece, I'm posting them all on my Instagram and my TikTok, so you can always go over there to check those out. I'll link those down below. But with that, I think that's the end of the video. So I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the flippity flop. Bye!